Our staff in the Office of Diversity and Inclusion at the Wayne State School of Medicine are proud to highlight our students and their hard work. Today, we introduce you to Ms. Shanita Thomas, a member of the School of Medicine's class of 2022. As of May 4th, 2020, Shanita makes history as one of 10 students across the nation to receive the first inaugural ElevateMeD Scholarship. As an ElevateMeD Scholar, she and her other cohort members will each receive $10,000 per year for the remainder of their medical degree, along with other great benefits. I am Lewis Graham, the student intern for the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, and I will interview Ms. Shanita Thomas to delve into her journey and learn more about her recent accomplishment. How are you, Shanita?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing all right. Happy to interview you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Shanita Thomas. I am a third year at Wayne State School of Medicine. I am originally from Ohio. I moved to Michigan when I was about 13. I did my undergrad at the University of Michigan. I have a double major in anthropology and women's studies. And then I was accepted to the postbac program through the Office of Diversity and Inclusion. And that is where I first started my technical med school journey. From there, I was accepted into the Wayne State Medical School and currently a third year.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much for sharing. So you're currently in your third year of medical school. How are you enjoying the experience so far?
It's been good, been a little different due to the pandemic. So we have been a little delayed and we are taking some courses online. So it's been interesting, not bad, just different. But I am excited. We are supposed to begin working on rotations in July.
All right. It's really nice to hear that all of the medical students, regardless of what tier or what segment you're at, everyone's adjusting appropriately to the pandemic, hence our virtual interview. But yes, it's nice to hear that all the medical students are transitioning well. So how did you hear about the ElevateMeD Scholarship?
So I found out after I received the email that I was nominated by the Office of Diversity and Inclusion by Dr. Matthews. And so the email came to me and just said, hey, you've been nominated, you should apply. And if I'm being completely honest,
Oh, wow.
I didn't really know what it was. I thought that it was spam because I had, I know. And so when I opened it and read it and followed the website and realized that it was legit, I read more about the foundation and what their mission was, and it was perfect. Their mission is to change the face of medicine and to help fund and mentor future doctors that are minorities.
Yeah, the mission of the ElevateMeD Scholarship Program sounds like a great way to reach back to those underrepresented students, especially since financial barriers are one of the biggest reasons that, students of underrepresented backgrounds don't approach a medical degree. Debt for a medical student is around $200,000. Approximately how long did it take to complete it?
I'm not really good with videos. And so it took a long time. The requirement was to record a 5-minute video telling them about yourself, what your future plans are as a physician, and what being an ElevateMeD scholar would mean to you. And so it wasn't long or time consuming. It was more just trying to be concise and just showcase yourself.
Perfect. I think this is an amazing accomplishment because it's a really big deal. Being able to alleviate as much debt as possible is a tremendous, not an easy task for a medical student, as we all know.
Yeah.
So in addition to the monetary benefits, you also alluded to the mentorship and such. So how will those non-monetary aspects of the ElevateMeD Scholarship impact your academic career? What's your foresight with that?
So this was a great question because I alluded to it in my actual interview tape to them. When I read their mission, it said that there would be the financial help, but then they will also have mentors, mentoring through financial stability and also how to handle the finances once you go into residency. Then also there will be mentors just mentoring you through the last 2 years or the last remaining years of your medical education. And coming from my background, I I was raised and aged out of foster care. And so I don't really have a solid foundation. And so to be chosen to be a part of a community that's going to take you all the way to the path of becoming an MD and farther, just having someone there alongside you who looks like you and wants to see the same success, like it was invaluable to me. I thought like this
Yeah.
is exactly something that I would want to be a part of. So the other parts of the scholarship they're great.
So that's perfect. You opened up a really great chapter that I appreciate you for sharing with us in terms of foster care. So, May is Foster Care Awareness Month, and according to ifoster.org, almost 440,000 children have been in foster care within the past year, and the number continues to increase. Given that medical school is an arduous process and also coming from an underrepresented background, all the identities you reflect and display to us today, what is a message that you want to send to all those young people who are out there in the foster care system?
The statistics are staggering. So I would say that currently, as of, I want to say 2 years ago, the statistic for foster children who go on to college, only 2% of foster care youth go to college.
Wow.
And of that 2%, only 1% actually succeed and obtain the degree. So I would just say to other kids out there who are in foster care, also just struggling with a not as cohesive home life, is just to find like mentors or other people who are in a position to just give advice or just to help you or that you can vent to, just like let it all out. And that no matter what happens, as long as you try to just keep putting like one foot in front of the other, which is something that I just had to do. Like there were times when things just weren't going the way that they were supposed to. And I just had to keep telling myself it's just one day at a time, one day at a time, one day at a time. And some days that helped and I was able to stay afloat. And some days I felt as if I wasn't able to stay afloat. But it seemed as if, like how they say the sun will shine tomorrow. It may have been a couple of tomorrows after, but the saying did hold true. So I would just say try to stay as resilient as possible and put one foot in front of the other.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
It is important for us to recognize, the level of resilience and the level of perseverance that you are displaying. We commend you for it here at the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, and I'm sure the folks that are going to be watching this video commend you for it.
Thank you. It's a really sad statistic, and like obviously to be a product of that and be of like the 1% and probably less that like go on to medical school, like it's still, I don't know the word that I would look for, but it definitely shocks me when I say it out loud and acknowledge the journey I've been on. It surprises me, even though I was the person who was in the middle of it. So yeah.
Well, thank you for being an inspiration to us all, including me. How have your experiences as a first-generation college student who is underrepresented in medicine shaped your journey into medicine?
So I would say that because like I have had my share of like health issues, I did see as I was like growing up in college that I responded better to my doctors who technically looked like me. So the doctors who were like Black and minorities, they seemed to have like were able to make a better connection with me and actually listen to me. And so that inspired me to keep pushing through. So I was just like, I want to be this doctor for other people. Like we need more people to practice medicine. So just that thought of just seeing that, like when I was in high school, I had a Black physician. Through college, I would seek out Black physicians. And I just kept that as a goal in like my mind to just say like, I want to get here. And so there were boundaries, like of course being a first generation college student and then also going on to medical school that came up. So finances, having somewhere to live. So in college, when campuses close for holidays, housing closes and the food court closes. But when your only home is the dorm,
Right.
not really cohesive. So in college, I was able to get out of my dorm contract to get an apartment. And so that when the campus closed, I was able to still have somewhere to live. So that was a challenge, a huge challenge that I had to encounter through undergrad, and then similarly through when I was coming through to college. And so it just came down to being the best advocate for myself. Like, you're the only person who knows everything about you and knows what's best for you. And so pushing for what you need, just being your best advocate would be my best advice for first generation college students.
Thank you for sharing that. A lot of students do not apply to scholarships for various reasons, including lack of time, not having anything to write about or feeling unqualified, or even not knowing where to find scholarships for medical school. Did you relate to any of these reasons while applying to the ElevateMeD scholarship?
Yes, I would say that I did feel similarly to those barriers. It's intimidating. It's hard to know what is available because it's not as like broadcasted, especially for specifically for like minority scholarships. I won't say that it's not as advertised, but it's hard to know what is available. I don't know where the barriers are there, but for me personally, when I was like looking for different scholarships, it was hard to find. And you're just like, do I hit all of these marks? And like, how do I like showcase that? And then also because they are very specific, it's hard to find them, these like niche scholarships. But in regards to ElevateMeD, I didn't feel that any of those barriers.
Okay, great. And then it sounds like for the message for these students that feel this way would be, don't give in, continue looking. The right scholarship is out there.
Yeah, I would say it wouldn't hurt to apply. So when you think about the financial barriers that affect medical students in general, but definitely minority students, you would be in the same position if you didn't apply versus if you did. If you did apply, have the chance of a great opportunity and also like more funding. So I would say, like, although there are barriers, definitely still shoot your shot. That would be my best advice, is just try and go for it.
There you go. Hashtag shoot your shot. I love it. It's great that you are able to share, in such a very humble way, because we know how hard you work and we know that you are very well deserving of every accolade you receive. So now we all have this dying question that we want to know. In closing, what's next for the scholar and future Dr. Shanita Thomas?
Well, hopefully become an MD. What's next? I would just, I'm going to be starting third year in July. So what's next is just to get through the next 2 years of rotations and find out what niche of medicine I love, and then to push forward to applying to residencies and go from there. So the goal is to get through.
And I understand. Perfect.
Yeah.
So out of curiosity, what are your specialties of interest?
Well, I would definitely love to practice in OB-GYN. I have other interests in other surgical specialties. I love to use my hands. So I don't know. And the sky's the limit. That's what they tell me.
Yeah. Perfect. Dexterity for the win, and caring for health disparities is caring for the community. Yeah. Thank you so much, Shanita Thomas, for sharing everything you shared about the ElevateMeD scholarship, its benefits, the application process, and your journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you.